It's all about quotation marks, okay? We've seen quotation marks for years and years and years in many books, okay? Many passages. What do they really mean, okay? We've always said, oh, that should be in quotation marks. Do you see those quotation marks, okay? So let's kind of look at it and let's truly see the difference, okay? First of all, quotation marks go around anything that is a direct quote from someone. So if you're reading something in Miss Livingston's class and it was something that George Washington said in one of his speeches, it should be in quotation marks. No one can change his words. Now, if we say that George Washington said something about a topic, then we can't necessarily quote him because we didn't use his words, okay? So I kind of pulled an example from my next read aloud that I'm going to do with you guys, which is another I Survived. And let's see from looking at it if you can tell which one it is. So I have two different sentences here. You'll notice one of them has quotation marks in it, one of them does not, okay? But they both seem to say something. So let's kind of look and see what the difference is in those two. So my first one says, just hold on, he told himself, gripping the rail like maybe he could hold up the ship. The second one says, we're going down, a man shouted. They both seem to have someone saying something, but only one of them quotes someone. That's why quotation marks are called what they are, because it is a direct quote from somebody. So let's look at the sentence that's in brown, okay? Just hold on, he told himself, gripping the rail, like maybe he could hold up the ship. Right here you see it says he told himself. Well, we tell ourselves lots of things, right? But it seems to be that maybe he's narrating the story. So if he told himself something, he's not actually quoting himself. It was never said out loud. Someone's not quoting him. Okay, it was just something he said to himself. But our sentence in orange says, we're going down, a man shouted. He's telling you exactly what someone said, as if you were there to hear it yourself. So there's two different types, and we're actually going to do two practice sentences. By the way, if you guessed that our next read aloud is I Survived the Sinking of the Titanic, you would be correct. Let's look at our practice sentences. I'm just going to put that chart paper down there. All right, we have two. Now, both of these sentences are going to require quotation marks, but notice there's none in there. So we're going to look at, for your own writing purposes, how do you know where to put quotation marks when they're needed, okay? So our first sentence says, Philip said, I think we're going to the movies. Well, here is my first clue. That word right there, said. If someone said something and then I see a comma afterwards, that immediately tells me that the next word starts a direct quote, okay? So if here's my word said, here's my comma, that means my quotation marks start here and go to the end of his statement. Well, the end of his statement, I think we're going to the movies. Well, the end of the sentence happens to be the end of his statement, right? So I would close the quotation marks at the end of the sentence. Now, that's not always correct. Sometimes there's something afterwards. But in this case, it's the end of the sentence. Let's look at the second one. My vote goes to Belinda, said George. There's that word said again, but this time it's at the end. I have the word said. I have a comma right before it. So in this case, the quote is before the word said, not after. But this word still tells you that somebody was quoted. So it said that George was quoted in this one, just like it said Philip was quoted in the first one. So what did George say? So let's go back and look at the sentence again. My vote goes to Belinda, said George. Well, he said that his vote is going to Belinda. So your quote goes around the rest of the sentence. Okay? Two different ways, but both of them had the word said in a comma. That's your immediate clue that you might need quotation marks somewhere. I've got a little practice in this assignment for you of adding your own quotation marks. You'll retype the sentence, adding the quotation marks where they go. Let me know if you need any help.